spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Jay-Z.
It's all Jay-Z.
It's all Jay-Z. And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all of those records together. They both fucked Aaliyah. They shared so much in common.
I just let it go because I couldn't believe he did a project with her, with R. Kelly, knowing that he had a girl.
So just when we thought that we had heard the last of Jay-Z's alleged shady moves, some new information just came out that paints him in an even worse light than we thought, which is wild because we thought we had heard the worst of it all. But according to a new whistleblower information, Jay-Z has allegedly been behind R. Kelly's legal issues because he was allegedly the one who put R. Kelly in prison. Well, Jay-Z's relationship with R. Kelly has been the source of the speculation for a long time, and this might just be the betrayal of the year because Jay-Z and R. Kelly were very much like brothers back in the day. But what on earth did R. Kelly do to make Jay-Z mad at him? And has R. Kelly really been hiding Jay-Z's secrets this entire time? Let's break it down.
Spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back.
So the thought of Jay-Z being the brains behind R. Kelly's incarceration is kind of wild because R. Kelly has always been big on loyalty and friendship. I mean, sure, R. Kelly deserves to be behind bars given the horrible crimes that he was convicted of, but the thought that Jay-Z did it to him is kind of crazy to imagine. According to the reports though, R. Kelly, who got locked up for a whole list of crimes against black girls, also believes that Jay-Z is his biggest enemy. But y'all, it gets wilder because word in the streets is that Jay-Z actually had a hand in getting him sent away. R. Kelly is out here claiming that his trial was full of shady business, from juror misconduct to behind-the-scenes manipulation. And get this, the streets are saying that Jay-Z might have been helping fund the documentary that played a major role in swaying the case. Crazy, right? Well, especially since these two used to be tight, practically like brothers. But the second Kelly's dirt came to light, Jay-Z pulled a full-on disappearing act like he never knew that man. But here's where it gets even messier. Ronnie Bo, R. Kelly's former cellmate, spilled some tea on Hip Hop News Uncensored. According to him, Kelly didn't have any solid proof, but he was convinced that Jay-Z, his old collaborator, was trying to take him down for good. In the early 2000s, R. Kelly and Jay-Z linked up to drop 2 albums, The Best of Both Worlds and Unfinished Business, and even went on a joint tour. But things took a nosedive fast. The drama reached its peak at Madison Square Garden when R. Kelly walked off stage, saying that people in the crowd were aiming guns at him. Then he tried to return to the stage. Jay-Z's friend Tyron Ty Smith hit him with a blast of pepper spray, and that was the end of R. Kelly's touring time with Jay-Z. He got dropped from the tour and he was so angry and bitter that he hit back with a $75 million lawsuit for breach of contract. Yeah, that was definitely a bridge-burning move, and things were strained between him and Jay-Z after that. But according to Ronnie Bo, the cellmate, R. Kelly felt like Jay-Z was trying to one-up him since R. Kelly was the bigger star back then. Well, R. Kelly also claimed he received death threats before the infamous Madison Square Garden show in 2004, which he suspected came from Jay-Z. Ronnie Bo explained that R. Kelly genuinely believed Jay-Z was out to get him, no matter how wild it sounded. But the hip-hop world can't get enough of this messy saga. Betrayals, lawsuits, and even whispers of murder plots. Fans were left questioning just how deep the blood really ran between these two and these former collaborators. The streets kept their conversation alive for years, dissecting every detail and spinning even more wild stories. What started out as a powerhouse partnership had turned into one of the most chaotic feuds in music history, proving once again that hip-hop drama never disappoints. While Jay-Z was living his best life building an empire with Jay-Z and their children, R. Kelly's world was crumbling, especially his finances. His mounting legal troubles drained his bank account at an alarming rate. Court documents revealed that Brooklyn prosecutors had stepped in, filing a writ of continuing garnishment against his record labels to collect on a massive debt that he owed his victims. By June 1st, 2023, that number had already hit $504,289, and their interest and legal fees were piling up. It was only going to get worse. One of the biggest names in R&B was now drowning in financial ruin, a stark contrast to the lavish lifestyle he once flaunted. While R. Kelly's list of allegations as long as the CVS receipt, and the stories behind him are just as disturbing. One of the earliest cases from the Tiffany Hawkins case, who took him to court over the personal injuries and emotional distress she endured for their 3-year relationship. Well, according to court documents, Hawkins said that she and Kelly became intimate in 1991 when she was just 15 and he was 24. What started as a dream of working with a superstar quickly became a nightmare. The Chicago Sun-Times reported that Hawkins originally demanded $10 million in damage, but after years of legal battles, she settled for just $250,000 in 1998. Then came Tracy Sampson, another young woman with a hauntingly similar experience, a former intern at Epic Records. Sampson filed a lawsuit claiming Kelly had coerced her into an intimate relationship when she was only 17. In her lawsuit, she alleged that Kelly manipulated her, threatened her, and treated her like his personal, intimate object, and then discarded her once he lost interest. She, like many others, believed that she was stepping into a promising future, only to realize that she was trapped in a toxic cycle of control and exploitation. Another woman named Patrice Jones also stepped forward with her own lawsuit, claiming that R. Kelly got her pregnant when she was still underage. Then there was Montana Woods, who accused him of secretly recording their encounters without her consent, which each new allegation, the picture of R. Kelly's predatory behavior, became even harder to ignore, and his legal troubles kept piling up. While Jay-Z was living the high life with Beyonce and their growing family, R. Kelly was fighting for his life and his career, his reputation, and his freedom. While lawsuits, accusations, and mounting legal fees turned his once lavish lifestyle into a never-ending courtroom nightmare, the entire world watched in disbelief as the story kept unfolding, each new development exposing just how deep the scandal ran. Then came the bombshell that could have sealed his fate for good. R. Kelly was slapped with a staggering 21 counts for creating explicit tapes featuring barely legal girls, plus an additional 12 counts for producing them. It looked like the walls were finally closing in, and many thought that this would be the case that put him away for good. But in a shocking twist, the charges were dropped because the prosecutors couldn't definitively prove the ages of the girls in the videos, giving R. Kelly an unexpected legal loophole that allowed him to slip through the cracks yet again. Though he managed to survive this round of consequences, the court of public opinion was growing louder. People were beginning to connect the dots, and the idea that Kelly was untouchable wasn't sitting right with the public. But hold up, wait a minute, because there was more. Just when it seemed like the scandals couldn't get any worse, the bombshell allegations about his alleged S-cult hit the scene. Word in the streets is that he had hundreds of girls trapped, controlled, and isolated from their families. And this time the victims weren't staying quiet. Breaking free from those airtight NDAs, they finally started speaking out, ready to expose the truth no matter the cost. They came with the game changer, the Surviving R. Kelly documentary. This 6-hour Lifetime documentary turned into a cultural phenomenon, laying out every accusation in painful detail. It wasn't just another celebrity expose, it was a full-blown crash course in R. Kelly's darkest secrets, giving the public an up-close look at the horrors his victims endured. And the documentary was the final nail in his career coffin. Just 2 weeks after it aired, his record label cut ties with him, and the industry officially hit that cancel button on him. The days of R. Kelly skating by the technicalities and dodging accountability were over. And then the moment everybody had been waiting for, the law finally caught up with him. On June 20th, the world got hit with the headline that shook the music industry. R. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years behind bars, and if he thought that anybody would be crying for him, not a single tear was shed, not even from his former bestie Jay-Z. U.S. District Judge Ann Donnelly didn't mince words when she laid into R. Kelly during his sentencing. She called him out for his indifference to human suffering and condemned the way he twisted intimacy into a weapon of control and destruction. She didn't dance around the truth. She flat out accused him of forcing his victims into horrific acts, infecting them with STDs, and warping their idea of love into something that looked more like slavery and violence. And she made sure he heard every word, looking him dead in the eye as she delivered her scathing rebuke. But before he was sentenced, the survivors, women who had endured years of pain and manipulation, stood up to speak their truth. They described the nightmare he had put them through and how he had destroyed so many lives without remorse. But let's not forget another disturbing chapter in his story, his deeply unsettling relationship with the late singer Aaliyah. Long before the world knew the full extent of his crimes, he nearly ruined her life too, and the details are just as dark as the rest of his twisted legacy. Aaliyah was a straight-up legend. Born January 1979, she signed her first record deal at just 12 years old with her uncle in Detroit. By the time she was a teenager, Billboard was already calling her a game changer in R&B, blending pop, soul, and hip-hop with her smooth, honeyed voice. But her hit song Try Again took her to the next level, winning the Best Female Video Award at the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards, beating out huge names like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. It was clear that she was on the rise, and she didn't stop there. She scored 3 American Music Awards, 2 MTV VMAs, and 5 Grammy nominations, becoming a true R&B icon. But it wasn't just about her music. Aaliyah's whole vibe was iconic. She brought that sweet but street energy, rocking crop tops, baggy jeans, and that signature look, hair covering over her eye. Her style was everything, and it's still influencing fashion today. Aaliyah hit the ground running at just 14, landing a record deal and releasing her debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, at only 16. But behind the scenes, Aaliyah and R. Kelly took the phrase a little bit too literally. At 15, they secretly got married, but her family quickly put a stop to it once they found out. And unfortunately, while R. Kelly somehow managed to avoid most of the heat, Aaliyah ended up facing the full force of the media storm. Instead of being seen as one of R. Kelly's early victims, the press twisted it and painted her as the teenage temptress. It was an unfair narrative that overshadowed her talent and innocence during a time when she deserved nothing but support. Well, fast forward to 2019, and the federal prosecutors dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves through everyone following the R. Kelly saga. Turns out just a day before the secret wedding to Aaliyah, Kelly was allegedly scheming to get a fake ID for an unnamed girl. The indictment revealed that on August 30th, 1994, R. Kelly supposedly bribed someone to produce a fraudulent identification document for a person referred to as Jane Doe. This was the first time Kelly's sketchy marriage to Aaliyah was dragged into his growing list of criminal charges. His lawyers tried to defend him by claiming he had no idea Aaliyah was so young at the time, even though the marriage license clearly stated she was 18. On August 25, 2001, Aaliyah, who was just 22 and on top of the world, tragically lost her life in a plane crash in the Bahamas. She had been shooting a music video for her final album, Aaliyah, when the twin-engine Cessna she was in went down. Later investigations found that the plane was overloaded by 700 pounds, and to make matters worse, the pilot had both drugs and alcohol in his system, which was a total recipe for disaster. But this is where things get even more interesting. After Aaliyah's untimely death, R. Kelly, her former collaborator and rumored previous husband, pretty much went silent about her. It was like she never existed in his narrative. But wait, it gets crazy. Now, R. Kelly is claiming that Jay-Z, for reasons that are still unclear, wanted him out the picture. And some people are even saying that there's an Illuminati-like conspiracy going on behind the scenes. Now, R. Kelly, gearing up for the legal battle of his life, said he was not playing around, and he brought none other than Bill Cosby's lawyer to lead his defense. Yeah, you heard me right. He was not here for a simple appeal. He's going all in, aiming for a total reversal of his conviction. His legal team is pulling out every trick in the book, arguing that biased jurors and missing info about the ages of his partners messed with the trial's fairness. And of course, R. Kelly's pointing the finger at Jay-Z, claiming that his grudge over a lost $70 million lawsuit is what really landed him behind bars. Fast forward to today, and R. Kelly isn't backing down yet. He has filed an appeal and is ready to go all in, fighting tooth and nail for his freedom. And there's increasing speculation that R. Kelly is preparing for a high-stakes legal battle and is committed to putting up a fight. Sources are suggesting that he may be looking to expose individuals he believes turned their backs on him when things turned for the worse. But according to rumors, R. Kelly and his legal team might be considering cooperation with federal authorities in exchange for reduced sentencing, potentially by implicating other high-profile figures who are allegedly involved in similar scandals. But among those reportedly in Kelly's sights are a well-known rapper and a famous singer, both of them who could be tied to the kind of allegations that have plagued his own career. The drama doesn't stop there though, because R. Kelly's camp is also said to be accusing Jay-Z of playing a significant role in his downfall. According to these claims, Jay-Z has been deliberately staying in the background, allowing Kelly to take the brunt of the media and legal fallout, while he himself remains largely unaffected by the situation. But let's take a closer look at some of these rumors surrounding Jay-Z. One that has persisted over the years involves his allegations and relationship with Foxy Brown when she was just a teenager. Reports suggest that they began seeing each other when Foxy was just 15 years old, while Jay-Z was 24. Given the significant age difference, this has sparked naturally a lot of speculation and concern. Well, Jay-Z addressed these rumors in his song Picasso Baby, but his denial only seemed to intensify the controversy. In a subsequent interview, Foxy Brown expressed her surprise upon hearing the track, revealing that she was taken aback how Jay-Z chose to address the situation. She said, "Was I shocked when Jay said the line in Picasso Baby? Yes, because we talked about that. We have a history that supersedes music. We know how this business works. We sit back and we laugh at those rumors. We laugh at that." I think he began to feel the pressure because people began to say my age. The age thing. She was 15, 14. After a while, that gets to a person. The fact that he felt he needed to say that means something struck a chord. Well, she was definitely feeling the pressure from all the public scrutiny surrounding her age. And word in the streets is that it might have been that very pressure that pushed Jay-Z to finally speak about the situation. But let's rewind to Aaliyah for a moment, because things get even juicier. Aaliyah was allegedly caught in a love triangle that involved none other than her and Jay-Z himself. Rumor has it that Jay-Z had a thing for Aaliyah, but she just wasn't interested in him. Instead, she ended up developing a close relationship with Jay-Z's former business partner, Dame Dash. Fast forward to a bombshell interview at that Effed Up podcast, where Dame Dash did not hold back. He spilled all the tea on Jay-Z's alleged crush on Aaliyah, revealing details that had been previously kept under wraps.
The thing about Aaliyah was like every time I saw her, she looked different. So she had different looks every time, and I was like, who the is that? And then I realized it was Aaliyah, and then I just threw my A game. And then, you know, I guess Jay was trying to get at her as well, and I didn't know. And then it got brought up, and I was like, both of y'all. But it never worked out for them, and we were both like trying to get at her. I like kind of eased up, but then we ran into each other.
But Dame wasn't about to let Jay-Z off the hook. He called out Jay-Z for teaming up with R. Kelly on projects, even though he knew exactly what R. Kelly did.
I just let it go, because I couldn't believe he did a project with her, with R. Kelly, knowing that he had raped a girl.
Now this does sound like Jay-Z might not be innocent, but R. Kelly is not the only one that's accusing Jay-Z of secretly spearheading a campaign to put R. Kelly in prison. And no, it has nothing to do with Jay-Z feeling guilty or having a moral epiphany, because it has nothing to do with that. According to Jaguar Wright though, the reason that Jay-Z went out of his way to imprison R. Kelly is nothing but jealousy.
Spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back.
Y'all, at this point, you gotta wonder if true friendships exist in Hollywood, because this Jay-Z and R. Kelly situation is a whole mess. But I got to know what y'all think about this. Drop your thoughts and comments below, and then check out this next video.